We're going to get into our feature about Asleep at the Wheel. I don't know if you know about these guys. Country, western swing, whatever you want to call it. They actually started in Paw Paw, West Virginia, kind of known to be in Austin, Texas is where they go out. I think you all know Ray Benson. He's the big guy. Since 1970, he's been on guitar. You've got Elizabeth McQueen on guitar since 2005, Katie Shore since 2013, Leroy Preston on guitar, Cindy Cashdollar on steel guitar, and Emily Gimbel since 2014 with Jason Roberts since 1994, and Floyd Domingo on keyboard and instruments. There's been a whole bunch of them underneath that were there in the 70s on piano. They had Johnny Nicholas, Chris O'Connell, David Sanger, and Tony Garnier. So they were all the ones on. Now, it's really interesting about this group. This group is one of those groups that you hear their music all the time, and whether you associate it with them, because they do a lot of collaborations, a lot of stuff like that, but they've been around for over 50 years. This is it. Co-founder Ray Benson, he actually didn't come up with the band's name. He said it was coined by his good friend and original bandmate Lucky Oceans in 1970. That's how they got that. But in the early days, it was led by Ray, and the group holds a special place in television. Because if you remember that show, Austin City Limits, that's right. Used to watch that all the time. That's before YouTube and MTV. Well, I was after MTV, I think. And that was kind of the country version. In fact, I think it was Sundays or Saturdays, I think, that was the place to be. And they would film the shows live and all that kind of stuff. Since then, he's been with everybody. As far as Willie Nelson, the Avett Brothers, Amos Lee, all that kind of stuff. Now, here's an interesting thing. So Ray Benson says, he's in Texas, right? So he's living in Austin. And of course, there's a few big country singers in Austin, like a George Strait kind of guy. So he says he's doing an album, all kinds of stuff. And he says he gets a text about a new project. This is the one where he did Riding High in Texas from George Strait. And George says, how come I'm not on the album? All right. And Ray goes back and goes, well, you're not on the album here because you're on volume 2. Like, that's how many he had, right? So it's very cool. So we're going to start off with one of mine. Now, this one here, I love this song. I actually usually listen to it by Commander Cody, but Asleep at the Wheel did this as well, and it's one of my favorites called Hot Rod Lincoln. Let's have a listen to this.
Son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that Hot Rod Lincoln.